Now let's continue with our special focus now on 405, the performance of our municipalities. The local government audit outcomes for the 2022-23 financial year have revealed that most municipalities in the country have regressed. In fact, out of the 257, only 34 got clean audits for the financial year. This is from 38 that got clean audits in the previous financial year. Most municipalities that received these clean audits are in the Western Cape. Let's unpack the story further. Joining us is Dr. Lethiwe Nzama-Sithole. She's the Deputy Head of the Department of Accounting at the University of Johannesburg. Dr. Nzama-Sithole, it's great to talk to you. Thanks for coming on to the program. I mean, just the one issue that we want to focus on, if we look at the issue of fruitless and wasteful expenditure, 7.4 billion rand, that's a lot of zeros in wasted money.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Michelle, for having me, and welcome to your viewers as well at home. Yes, it's really concerning to see this performance because the performance keeps on decreasing, and we always have the same report, same results. But now the question comes is, what do we need to do different to ensure that there is improvement in municipal performance? So it's really concerning, and we need to really change the culture and the professionalism of municipalities for better performance of these municipalities.
In fact, that was my next question to you. How much of a role would the professionalization of these key jobs in municipalities, insofar as fiscal controls are concerned, how much would that impact these kinds of numbers?
It will be a huge improvement when there's professionalism, because when you have colleagues who are serving in these spaces, they will depend on professional bodies who will keep them accountable. And when they are in professional bodies, they have to be meeting the minimum requirement of competency and skills. And they have CPDs where they need to continually improve their practice, improve their skills and their standards that they need to comply on. So there should be internship and intentionality on how do we invest on appointing skilled staff members who belong to professional bodies, who will have that sense of authority and accountability and pride in what they do, mostly in financial management services of these municipalities.
The issue of consultants is another, perhaps it can also fall under the issue of fruitless and wasteful expenditure, because municipalities spend so much money on hiring consultants that are actually working outside of the department. And it goes back to the professionalization issue. When these skills should already be focused in the department, why do we need to go outside and hire a consultant, spend that extra money?
Absolutely, Michelle. So, and what we've seen last week when the report was tabled by the AG is that with municipalities that heavily depend on these financial consultants, they usually get the unqualified audit opinion, disclaimer, and adverse audit opinion. And those that use only the consultants for technical services, they get unqualified audit opinion, because why? They have skills. So if you lack skills and you rely on consultants, you are now passing on the accountability and responsibility. But if you are now using them for few items in terms of technicality, you'll then be skilled enough to keep them accountable, review the work, and know whether they've done the work correctly or not. So we have a problem with that, but also want to also highlight that there's an improvement in the financial accountants' reliance. So previously we used to have 1.63 billion, and this financial year we have 1.35 billion that has been used for financial consultant, which is an improvement. But the issue remains that municipalities must be intentional, ensuring that whoever that they bring in place is competent and they can maintain the competency through CPDs and training. And when they have consultants, they need to ensure that it's of reduced reliance, not majority of work should be done by consultants, because when you have consultants, they sometimes cannot be accountable for their actions. And as I've mentioned earlier, that most municipalities that heavily rely on this municipality with this consultants, they end up getting the qualified audit opinion, adverse opinion, and disclaimer because of lack of accountability.
Yeah, accountability is an incredibly important issue. The AG has also pointed that out. What do you make, Lethiwe, of the excuse by municipalities, or should I rather say the explanation by municipalities, that some of their performance could also be due to the issues with revenue collection? People are simply not paying for services rendered.
Absolutely, Michelle. There's an issue. And if you look at the South African context, we have unemployment rate at 32.9%. And we have socio-economical issues that we can also think of in the context of the country. We have most residents who cannot afford municipal services. And most revenue services will come from corporates, unlike households. But with those who are able to pay, like myself and yourself, Michelle, sometimes we have issue of billing systems where we say, okay, I'm billed, but the billing is not done correctly. So even if I'm willing to pay, I'm now discouraged by the processes that is being followed by municipalities when they bill me. And if I need to follow up and say, how did you bill me? Then there's sometimes lack of explanation or proper explanation of what happened in the billing system. And also this speaks to the skills that are required in those who are involved in financial management, ensuring that there's transparency, there's proper processes, there's accountability. And if now residents want explanation on what happened, there should be proper explanation of how is the billing system done, and if there are any arrangements that needs to be done, there should be clarity on what is the process. If I need to make arrangements, if I delay to get to pay because of other issues, there should be proper processes that are explained to the resident, and that will encourage residents to pay, even though we know that others cannot pay because of their socio-economic issues.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Lethiwe and Nzama-Sithole, let me thank you for your time this afternoon as we continue with our special focus on the performance of municipalities. She's the Deputy Head of the Department of Accounting at UJ.